All right, guys, what's up? This is Joey McKernan with the Quip Show. I'm actually on this side, got to mix it up a little bit. And as you guys know, we are here to highlight nonprofit organizations, local organizations helping the community, and just great people. I love hanging out with great people who have great passions to make our community better. I'm here with Holly Barrett from the Omaha Downtown Improvement District. Holly, how are you today?
I'm fantastic, thank you.
It's great to have you here. And I'm excited to learn. So, how about really quickly, just give us like a 10-second spiel, really quick, elevator pitch of what the Omaha Downtown Improvement District does and kind of all the things really quickly.
Sure.
And then we'll get deep into it.
Really quickly,
Real quick.
business improvement districts are in charge of taking care of the public spaces. So, picking up litter, planting trees and flowers, providing private security, and working with the police department. Activation, everything from promoting business sales and events that are happening to actually getting involved, sponsoring things.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the advocacy, which is the fun stuff. And that's working with property owners, the city, developers to make sure everybody knows what's happening and what people want. And then solving little things. And it could be anything from what's going on with this construction to
Yeah.
there's a lot of pigeon poop over there.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. And how did you get involved with this work?
oh gosh, I am originally from Denver, and about 12 years ago at this point, Denver started getting a little big, and it had turned into a very cool city,
Sure.
but it had gotten a little too big and too
A
cool
little
for
too
me.
big for you?
And Omaha felt like Denver had
Mm,
20 years ago. It had an amazing food scene, really great community. Didn't have some of those big city issues like traffic and a huge homeless
sure.
problem. All of the problems which Omaha certainly does have,
Sure.
but on a much smaller scale.
Yeah.
And at the same time, had some really wonderful people in place. Mayor Stothard had just been elected at that point, and she was pretty progressive with some of her urban development ideas,
Hmm.
but was going to be moving slowly at the speed of the people. And
Yeah.
I really liked that. It was really appealing. So I moved to Omaha and fell in love with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Omaha's such a great city, and I love the downtown area. I feel like it's just developed so much, and it's a lot of fun anytime someone comes to town. I feel like we always land in the
Good.
downtown area.
Good.
So,
We like hearing that.
yeah, and I'll have you eat that mic a little bit, just a little closer. But
Absolutely.
so tell us a little bit about downtown Omaha as a whole and just kind of the unique parts that you guys know. And obviously, you were in Denver and then you see Omaha. What are some great parts of Omaha's downtown that maybe other big cities don't have?
Well, I think the my favorite part is that there are distinct neighborhoods. We've got the central business district, obviously, where
Sure.
we've got City Hall and the big hotels and the major corporate landmarks like First National Bank and Union Pacific. But then we also have the Old Market District, which is
Yeah.
actually one of the oldest historic districts on record
Wow.
and has been preserved really uniquely in that they have tried very hard to not change some of those original things. So
Yeah.
things that are not normal in downtown Omaha or in other downtowns,
Yeah.
the sidewalks were the original width, the
Right.
cobblestone,
Yeah.
and they've really tried hard to do that.
Yeah.
And then as the city has developed around it, other things have come up. North downtown, the Capital District,
Yep.
that whole area is very new and very vibrant, and it makes it a really nice contrast to the Old Market Historic District and then the Central Business District. So
Yeah.
I really love that part.
Yeah. What does a downtown, I mean, like the work you guys do, I mean, preserving and growing and investing, what does a downtown like that do to a city?
Oh, it becomes the anchor.
Yeah.
I think one of the other really unique things that Omaha has is that our airport is 10 minutes from downtown,
Yeah.
and downtown is the head of the urban core. So visitors can come down and get here within 10 minutes, see all of the big city attractions, and then go down the urban core and see the neighborhoods really start to develop.
Yeah.
So I think that is one of the really unique factors.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I just obviously we're recording this around the College World Series, and
Yes.
that's always fun. How has that impacted your
Oh,
work?
it's fun. It impacts us for sure because the number one thing that my organization does is pick up litter,
Okay.
and more people means more litter,
Yeah.
and it also means surprising litter. So,
Yeah.
we ran into a couple of weird situations where a trash can got knocked over, and it was on a Sunday when the city doesn't have trash pickup,
Mm-hmm.
so there was a lot more trash in an area that we don't normally see. So.
Mm,
And it was, of course, right on the footpath of all
of
of the
course.
CWF traffic coming from the stadium to the
Of
new
course.
riverfront.
Love
Yeah.
that.
So we were all hands on deck. We have 5 people on our clean and green team, and they were all on throughout that first couple of
Yeah.
weeks when the bulk of the crowds were here. But we also had a lot of communications going out. So we were sharing as much information about the O Metro circulator, making sure that people knew that there was
Yeah.
transit back and forth, promoting all of the specials that the restaurants were doing, and then just staying on top of making sure that there weren't going to be any major fires, no security issues, nothing like that. And there wasn't.
Yeah.
There were a couple of incidents that happened that were not related to CWS,
Yeah.
but other than that, we got to enjoy the 30 to 80 however many thousands of people are
Yeah.
coming in, just depending on who's playing. So
Yeah.
it was a good time seeing all those folks on the street.
That's good. It's so fun. Always fun. Tell me a little bit about a downtown improvement district and what is it exactly? What kind of organization is it and how are they run and how do they operate?
Sure. I'm going to open that question up and talk in generalities. Almost every city, even small towns, have improvement districts, and they
Okay.
could be business improvement districts, they could be residential.
Yeah.
It's going to depend on what each little space did. So, and all of them are funded by property assessments,
Okay.
and that means that it's not a tax, but it's like a tax. You have to pay it.
Sure.
It's not a donation.
Yeah.
But all of that money goes into a pot, and then every business district everywhere in the world has 4 missions: clean, green, safe, and active. And so we divide up the pool into what's needed. Now, the number one thing that's always going to be needed is clean and green.
Yep.
And then right behind it is safety.
Yep.
So we spend the bulk of our money on a five team of employees that are out there 365 days a year picking up trash.
Wow.
And let me back up a little bit because
Sure.
there is a surprising web of responsibility for this kind of stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
people sometimes don't get whose responsibility is what.
Mm-hmm.
So, in Omaha and in most cities, the city is responsible for the street. That means they take care of street sweeping, making sure potholes are fixed, all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. The property owners are responsible for keeping their sidewalks and their alleys clean. So, from their front door up to the curb line,
Okay.
they're in charge of keeping it clean. Then improvement districts are an overlay. They're meant to enhance the partnership that both of those take up the bulk of the responsibility. So we come in, we pick up any trash that's left in the curb lines. We work with specific property owners if maybe they're having an issue, and then we go around and we do spot checking,
Mm-hmm.
and then we also plant all the trees. We have an MOU with the city that we take care of the 300 trees.
Mm.
So we work with, say, the streetcar construction that's going on right now. They
Mm-hmm.
had to take out a ton of trees along Farnham and Harney, and they're going to put those back in after the
Yeah.
streetcar comes in. But our job at that point will be working with them to make sure the trees go back in. They're the
Sure.
right species, the arborist. Maybe we take on some maintenance. That's the kind of stuff that we deal with after that.
That's awesome.
Then that second biggest mission is security. So at our monthly security committee meetings, the police come and report out. The riverfront security comes and reports out.
Mm-hmm.
The city's homeless service outreach providers come. And then we also have our own private security officers.
Mm.
Our private security officers act almost as ambassadors to downtown. They're down there keeping their eyes on things. Sometimes they are helping tourists. Sometimes they are going into businesses and making sure that
Yeah.
their issues are being taken care of. And then sometimes they are taking care of some of those lesser offenses that the police don't really have time to take care of, but that are good neighbor things. Things like making sure aggressive panhandling is taken care of.
Mm.
Making sure that buskers don't have their amplifiers. We love buskers in Old Market. They are part of
What is
the
a
culture.
busker?
A street musician,
Oh,
street
gotcha.
performer.
Okay,
But in the historic district, amplifiers are not allowed. So
gotcha.
if somebody is playing a sax on an ampliphone or something like that, our
Yep.
guys will go up and say, "Hey, you don't have to leave, but the amp has to go."
Yeah.
And then in those situations where there is something tricky going on, you probably all remember from a couple months ago there was a nightclub that was consistently in the news. We don't need to disparage their name at this point.
Sure.
They have closed. But that was a situation where we were hiring extra security
Mm.
and stationing them right there because every Saturday night there was an issue for a little while
Yeah.
there. So, and then that last arm is the advocacy arm. This one's the most nebulous, but it's the most fun for me. This is where we're promoting events, we're sponsoring events, we're working with the mayor's office and city council and developers and the urban core committee from the chamber, streetcar, all of that. Just trying to make sure that the needs of downtown are being met with the projects and that we are being good neighbors to everybody else
Yeah.
and that we're sharing information and all of that. So again, that could be big stuff like advocating for the streetcar, or it could be small things like someone will call and say a street light is out, and I
Sure.
can help them figure out who to call.
Tell me about the tourist piece. I think that's interesting. And like, what does Omaha's touristic landscape look like? I mean, I feel like it's getting stronger.
It is definitely getting stronger, and Visit Omaha would be the folks that you'd want to pull in
Okay.
to get some
Okay.
the best information. But um, the visitors that come into downtown are not just visitors coming in for conventions, and we've got a great convention center, and we're right in the middle of the country,
Yeah.
10 minutes from the airport, so
Right.
we get some good conventions.
Yeah.
But we also consider, friends from West Omaha if they're coming
Hmm.
into town. If you're living out here in South O, you're going to come down into downtown and you are also a visitor. We want to make sure that you're finding parking, you're having a good experience, and that we're helping you get around. So
Yeah.
making sure you know what events are happening,
Yep.
and answering any questions.
Yeah. I feel like the tour, I mean, obviously cultural series, the zoo, I feel like it's
Huge.
been huge. And you get so many people from so many places. And we work with a business and nonprofit downtown, and they talk about some of the numbers of people coming downtown who are not Omaha, like residents. I'm like, that is
Hundreds of
almost
thousands.
mind blowing.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges you guys have just leading your initiatives?
I think the biggest challenges are the same challenges that every city has. We live in a wind tunnel out here in the Midwest, if you hadn't noticed.
What?
Uh,
I have noticed.
One of my favorite stories when I first moved out here, our office is in the old 16th Street or in the old Doubletree
Okay.
across
Yeah.
from First National. And
Yeah.
First National Bank has this wonderful plaza. They have three flags, a Huskers flag, a Nebraska flag, and a First National Bank flag. And at one point, I came out and the middle flag was hanging straight down, and the other two flags were blowing in complete opposite directions. And I thought, what?
What?
But what that means is that trash that blows out of a dumpster on 16th Street could very well end up in Old Market within a few hours. So I think the biggest challenge we have is litter, and it's not always litter from people just throwing their stuff around. As we have more and more people coming to downtown, it just happens. Litter just happens.
Yeah.
I think some of the other challenges are things like noise violations. We've got a lot of really noisy cars and motorcycles that cruise through downtown. And if you're a resident and you live on one of those routes like I do, you start to be able to recognize the vehicles coming from a couple miles away. That's a huge deterrent. Even worse if you're actually a pedestrian on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we do have a homeless community that sometimes is in places that we don't expect them to be.
Right.
And that can be very unnerving to folks who do not see them as their neighbors because they don't see them every day. They don't
Right.
recognize their faces. And,
Yep.
and sometimes those folks are in distress and it is actually an issue. So, but again, those are things that all the big cities have. So I see anytime those challenges increase, to me, it says that it's our city is growing, and I think that that's positive. And we are addressing all of these things in big picture ways. We've got affordable housing initiatives that are coming out. We've got transit issues that are coming out. I mean, we are definitely striving to be a dense, fabulous urban city with
Yeah.
all the amenities.
Tell me about the streetcar and how that affects downtown. And yeah, I don't know much about it, honestly, in detail, so I'd love to hear from you, kind of your perspective.
We are huge advocates for
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
First of all, connecting the entire urban core means that all of the employees and residents and people that are coming to specifically visit the urban core are going to get a free ride,
Yeah.
whether it's from Midtown and Blackstone, the hospital district, all the way down to the riverfront. And eventually, hopefully, out to the airport, the zoo, and
Okay.
then north and south, though. Those
Wow.
are going to be now those are ways down the road.
Yeah, sure.
But the first thing it's going to do is that it's going to drive density. People are going to start to develop around it.
Yeah.
We've seen a ton of construction, and that's just been on utilities in the road. And already it has spurred so many wonderful developments, everything
Yeah.
from the Riverfront Park to the Farnham Hotel to the Mutual of Omaha.
Hmm.
It's going to fill in.
Yep.
And that means more tax dollars going into better roads, going into more police officers, more trash services,
Yep.
all of the things that a city really, really needs. So I think those things are really great. Personally, I live right in between both directions of the streetcar. I live in the Paxton,
Okay.
and so it'll go up Farnham and down Harney, and I intend to use it to get to meetings,
Yeah.
to get to appointments, to get to grocery stores.
Yep.
I'm really looking forward to it.
I know it's big for Omaha. Talk a lot about transportation in the city.
Yeah, and I know it is a hard pill to swallow for folks that don't use transit right now, but this is going to be the kind of transit that they can
It's good.
use.
Yep.
So
Tell me about, you guys have a foundation piece, correct?
We-
Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Sure. So my organization, now we're the largest business improvement district within Omaha. So we're run a little bit differently than some of the others. We are a 506 or a 50C3 organization on one arm and a C6 on the other arm.
Okay.
So the C6 arm is kind of our operating arm. That's where we have all our employees and everything else. The C3 arm is where we do fundraising for projects that are within our mission but not within the means to do. So someone will call and say, we need tree guards here, we need public art here, we need XYZ, whatever it is. If it's not something that's already in our mission, but it's something that would absolutely improve the area,
Yeah.
we want to do whatever we can to do it. So we have this fundraising arm that we can go out and we can talk to funders. And it's also, and even more importantly, I think, it gets used by the other organizations in the area that don't have a 501c3 status. And that's a hard status to get. It's a lot of
It is.
paperwork, it's expensive, and then there's a lot of things you have to do to keep it up. So,
Yep.
so we have done that work already, and we act as a pass-through
That's cool.
for a lot of smaller organizations. So Little Italy has used us.
Yeah.
The Old Market Association certainly uses us very regularly.
Awesome.
But we've worked with a couple of the other neighborhoods
Yeah.
that and help them go out and do fundraising for themselves,
Awesome.
and then we can pass the money through to them. So it's a win-win for everybody.
That's awesome. I love that, and keeps you flexible. So someone like me, just sitting at home listening to this on social media, how can we be a part of a group like you guys? Like, what can we do? What's the best way we can join you?
Well, there's a couple of different ways. First and foremost, sign up for that weekly email.
Yeah.
But this one is actually really fun. First of all, the first chunk of it is just what is happening this week in town, something new. And maybe we're talking about the streetcar. Maybe we're introducing a new program. Maybe
And we can link that newsletter in this.
Yeah, that would be great. It's a really great way to get information out. And then the rest of it is literally events that are happening every day that week.
Oh,
so if
cool.
you're going to be down here on a Tuesday, you can pick it up and you can see, ooh, there's live music at Harney Street, or
Yeah.
there's a margarita festival at Trini's, or whatever it
Yeah.
is. So that's the first thing we do. And within that
Did you say
newsletter,
margaritas? I'll be there.
I know, I'm a big fan. The other thing that we do through our newsletter is something that I like to think of as explore the core. Anytime a major event is happening throughout the urban core, we like to make sure everybody knows that. So we put it right in our newsletter, even though we're downtown. But our hope is that when you come down, you don't just come down to go to dinner. You come down to
Yep.
go to dinner, to go to an art gallery, to go to a show,
Hmm.
to do all those things. And when the neighborhoods around us are doing well, then so are we.
Yeah.
So we promote anything that's happening within the urban core, from Little Italy to North Downtown, all the way up to the
Yeah.
hospital.
So one of the main things is the newsletter. Is
Mhm.
there, and we'll tag that in this episode here. What else?
So, the other thing that you can do,
Yeah.
if you are environmentally minded, we do regular volunteer days where we have people come out and help us clean up.
Awesome.
And it's always before a major event
Yeah.
or a high volume time. So
Yeah.
we did one before College World Series. We'll certainly do one towards the end of the summer before Labor Day. We work with other organizations like Downtown Omaha Inc. and the Old Market Association,
Yeah.
who also do downtown cleanups, and we try to coordinate them and promote them. And so again, reading that newsletter, finding out when those events are happening, that's a great way to just get out. And it's easy work. It's kind of gross, but we give you gloves.
Yeah. That's important.
But it's a really great way to
Mm.
actually feel like you are doing something. And sometimes we are planting trees and flowers. So there are some great volunteer opportunities for 1 and 2 time things. It's also a great place to get kids out. But then we also have all of our committees. So we have
Mm.
3 standing committees that meet once a month,
Okay.
and they are completely open to the public. But that's where the main work gets done. So pedestrian amenities is where the clean and green team reports out, where we talk about, hey, do we have the trash cans in the right place there?
Mm.
Is there seating over there? Is that causing a problem, or is it good? That kind of stuff.
Mm.
Then we have our security committee, and that's where we just talk about all things safe. And that doesn't just include things that are happening, situations and things.
Mm.
That also includes, how do we improve the lighting? Do we need to put cameras anywhere?
Yep.
Do we need to talk about certain places? Do we need to
Yep.
send guards in, security guards into a certain area to escort
Yeah.
people to their cars from theaters and that kind of
Mhm.
stuff? What can we do to make people
Yeah.
feel safe? And then the activation committee. And again, this one is just fun. This is where we talk about the monthly first Thursday
Mm.
art walk. This is where we do things like promoting movies about alternative transit and the streetcar,
Mm.
and where we're sharing all of the information. So anytime anyone needs to get anything out. So you might have heard right now of a big thing called We Make Omaha. This is the new strategic plan, the master plan for the next 30 years. Where does Omaha want to go? What do we need? And we are in the
Yeah.
process right now of collecting all that information and finding out what resources there
Yeah.
are, and what improvements need to be made, what are our challenges and that kind of stuff. So we're doing everything from promoting those stakeholder meetings to
Yeah.
getting feedback back to the people that are actually writing
Yep.
the We Make Omaha plan, and so on and so forth. So and that's also the committee where, if we need to talk to the city about, hey, how can we improve this issue, this XYZ, whatever it is, that's where we make sure that we have our priorities right. What are we doing to help? What do we need help with? And then when we go to the mayor's office or city council, or even just, Bob Stubbe, the head of public works, and say, hey, we need help with this, then, that's where we've got that plan all laid out. We know exactly what
Yeah.
we need and what we can do,
That's good.
so that we're not just coming with our hands out. We always want to come in as a partner.
I love that. One more thing. One question. We got 3 minutes left. What's a misunderstanding that maybe people have about downtown?
Oh, I think the biggest misunderstanding is that there's no parking, or that it's
Mm.
unsafe.
Mm.
And both of those are actually totally false. Yes, it's true that you might have to walk a block to the restaurant you're going to, but at that same time, you then get to experience a whole block more, and you're not walking through a big, wide open parking lot like you would in a
Yep.
mall.
It's
Um,
okay to walk,
it's okay to
Midwesterners.
walk.
It's
It's
okay.
okay to
We don't have
walk.
to drive
We like
across
we
the
like
parking lot.
walkers. I'm a pedestrian commuter for the most part, and I will fully admit that in February and July, it's a hard,
Oh,
hard job.
yeah.
But I have never had a hard time finding a parking spot. Plus, we actually have lots of covered parking, city
Mm.
parking garages and all
Sometimes I
that.
think we don't know where to look. Sometimes I
No,
think we're lost a little, like I don't know where to
it
drive.
happens.
Yeah.
The Park Omaha app has
Okay.
a map on
That's
it that
good.
has not only listed where they are, but also how many spots are open. And generally
Hmm.
speaking, they only hit capacity once a year. I mean, they definitely
Yeah.
are always
Hmm.
always have some room. And then I think the other misconception would be that it's unsafe. It is certainly one of the most high volume places in all of Omaha. When people come together, sometimes people are not nice, and
All
that's
right.
just a fact. So,
Yep.
but the truth is, if you actually look at the statistics, we're very, very, very safe.
Yep. Well, Holly, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You are amazing. And
Thank
again,
you.
tell your website, share your website again.
Yep, omaha.com, omahadowntown.com.
OmahaDowntown.com.
Yeah, and that's not even right. omahadowntown.org.
Oh, .org. Okay, we got the third one right. OmahaDowntown.org.
Yes.
And the Omaha Downtown Improvement District with Holly Barrett doing amazing work. If you have passion or any sense of pride in Omaha, which I know so many of you do listen to this, join, sign up for that newsletter. We will link that into this post and just sign up and see. I know for myself, like anytime I leave this city and I go to a different city, I'm always talking about Omaha in such a pride way. And one of the best ways to have pride in your city is where so many tourists and so many people are coming is the downtown area, College World Series. I know the zoo is technically south, but it's close. Um, so many great places and just be a part and be a great citizen. So Holly, again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Did a great job. Guys, as you're listening to this again, check it out, omahadowntown.org, and click the link for the newsletter. We will be back here with another nonprofit to highlight more people doing incredible work. Holly, great job.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.